So guys, welcome to our channel, Raskolebla Reviews, and welcome back to another informative video. In this video, I am going to share review of Audi RS3. There's an admirable belligerence about the Audi RS3. It hasn't been made a crime just yet, after all, to put a big engine into something relatively small and create an amusingly alternative driver's car in the process, much as a great many of Europe's CO2-based taxation regimes would already suggest it ought to be. It really would be an aberration, though, if Audi's excellent EA 855 5-cylinder performance engine, motivator of the likes of the Audi TT-RS and RSQ3, and winner of more International Engine of the Year awards, yes, they do exist, then you can shake a golden crankshaft at, were taken from us any earlier than was absolutely necessary. Hot hatchbacks like this used to be a little more common, but the RS3 has become the last of that over-engined breed, with motors significantly bigger, more powerful, and more mechanically exotic than you expect to find in any humble five-door, and something of the aura of the custom-built, engine-swapped hot rod about them. The Mercedes-AMG, a 45, is just as outrageous, but is powered by merely 4 cylinders. The Volkswagen Golf R is a more subtle alternative, while the Toyota GR Yaris is smaller and perhaps a bit more fun. But the Audi is somehow mechanically bigger and bolder than its rivals, and yet more restrained, and even a bit dour, compared with them. Available in both saloon and 5-door hatch sportback body styles, the RS3 has Audi's 2.5-liter 5-cylinder lump, producing 394 bhp and 369 lb-ft of torque. There's plenty else that's interesting about it, but that fact alone is enough, if you tick the right options boxes, to give this little Audi a top speed of, get this, 180 mph. Audi Sport has certainly pushed the boat out for this car. Significant effort beyond the scope of that involved with any RS3 before it has gone into its chassis and suspension. It also benefits from an electronically controlled torque vectoring rear differential, and of course a drift mode, although traditionally demure Audi doesn't label it as such. The RS3 rides 10 mm lower even than an Audi S3, on special uprated dampers that don't appear on any other Volkswagen Group relation, on widened 19 in wheels with front tires wider of section than any on a previous version, with a front track 33 mm wider than the last versions, and with increased negative wheel camber for enhanced cornering grip featuring at both front and rear. As with other hyper hatches, there's no manual option, but there's an active exhaust for an even more expressive 5-cylinder sound and optional carbon ceramic brakes, which come packaged with adaptive dampers. There really isn't much that you might imagine wanting as part of the mechanical spec of your 150,000-pound supersports car that you couldn't get on this 50,000-pounds-ish hot hatchback then, and chief among those things might well be the car's trick torque vectoring rear differential. It's the same hardware that features on the latest VW Golf R, and it can channel 100% of the drive that's sent to the rear axle, typically about 50% of engine torque, directly at either rear contact patch. The RS3 offers real bang for your buck, and it does this by saving money on the interior. It doesn't feel cheap at all, and broadly it's all well screwed together. But it's just not all that different from the regular A3, which means it can feel a bit drab inside. Bucket seats are standard and swathed in the usual leather Dynamica fabric combination, along with color stitching and highlights, such as on the 12 o'clock indicator on the steering wheel. The 12. 3 in infotainment is the same as you'll find in the regular A3, as are the useful climate and chassis controls, which are housed on physical buttons. The boot is around 100 liters down on the regular A3s and is considerably smaller than the Mercedes-AMG A45s too. The saloon is slightly longer and lower, by 153 mm and 24 mm respectively, but the flip side is that the saloon's rear headroom is marginally more pinched. Certainly, anyone over 6 foot would struggle in the back seats. The wheelbase of the two models is identical, so legroom doesn't differ at all. The saloon's boot is still a decent size at 321 liters. In fact, it's bigger than the hatch's boot under the parcel shelf, so if you're not looking to regularly fold the rear seats, the saloon is arguably more practical, and certainly more secure. Nearly 400 bhp in a car the size of an A3 produces some startling results. The standard 0-60 mph test is dealt with in less than 0 sec, while the burbling 5-cylinder motor sounds genuine for the most part.